job? I thought you'd do the opposite of a good job. No. Fact is, I led a sheltered existence. I didn't have any black friends. I wanted to get to know them. See why we're so different. Because it's got to be more than nurture, right? I mean, it's got to be nature too. I mean, maybe what it is nature's somehow totally fucking up the nurture part in you guys. Because, like, what is it? 2% of you come from a real home, right? And by the time you hit puberty, you're on the street with a gun. And by the time you're 15, you've shot some white guy, and you're planning, or I mean, you're assuming, you'll graduate straight from junior high into state prison. First year I came to work here, 2 guys from this company came out of a restaurant after having lunch and got mugged by 14-year-olds who just happened to be black and who, I guess, just happened to shoot them. 1 guy in the stomach and 1 in the head. The guy with the head wound lived, if you'll call it living. The guy who died had 3 kids of his own, and you can bet they weren't standing on some street corner.
Thanks for lobbying standby for me.
No problem.
Your wife says hi. Sandy's doing great. You know, you never should have married a younger woman. Sandy said she didn't want to go out at night. You didn't feel safe. We go out all the time. Sometimes till 2, 3 in the morning. She's getting better at lovemaking too. She says you just never really stretched her. I said, well, maybe your husband just lacks the right equipment. But she said that wasn't it. I said, really? Well, how big is his dick? She said that wasn't the type of question she'd like to answer. But then I observed that my dick is exactly the national average. To the millimeter. Sandy didn't believe me. You mean average for black guys, she said. Nope. Blacks and whites? Yup. Average. Just average. Come one, come all. Chinese guys? Them too. Latino guys? Yup. Midgets? Average. Just average. That's what I am. And yet, I stretched her. Performance-wise. You know, Cindy says you're bigger than average. Oops.
I am not! Okay? She's a liar. I am not necessarily bigger than you. I may be smaller than you. I may well be one hell of a lot smaller than you. But the point is, you don't know. You don't know, and I don't know, and she's a fucking liar. So there's no way of finding out. You wouldn't even be with Sandy if your wife hadn't divorced your cheating ass and taken your kid with her.
You ever think about lesbians? No penis at all, yet they've managed to satisfy women for time immemorial.
When Sandy and I were first married, we used to have these fantasies. You know, for making love. The books tell you to play roles, so I play a cop. I play a priest. I play her dad. I play a fucking Indian, you know, whatever she wants, right? And she'd ask me what I want. But I couldn't tell her. She'd say, come on, do you want me to be a $1,000 hooker, a schoolgirl, Monica Lewinsky, Janet Jackson, Janet Reno? Do not snigger! She would have been Janet Reno for me if that's what I wanted. But I couldn't tell her what I wanted. for most guys. Especially when they've been raised to believe their whole job in life is to fuck white men's wives. Why did you invent rap music? Is that what you like? Sitting in your vibrating pit mobile in a cloud of plasma behind black tinted windows, listening to people yell, "Rape yo bitch, do her in the..."
Look, Sandy and I didn't want to fall in love, okay? It happened. Sometimes when she's with me, she just looks into my eyes and goes out of herself. Like she's taking a spacewalk or something into all that darkness. She's not afraid. She wants to be. And I don't think the baby was like that. Oh, by the way, she's pregnant. Sorry, I knew we said we wouldn't bring up all the Sandy stuff, but there's just been so much news. She was too nervous to tell you, so I said I would. Glad I remembered. Anyhow, the night I knocked her up, she stared in my eyes. Oh, shit. She was hypnotized and dreaming or something. She's normally pretty loud, but of course, she's still your wife. And that's awesome. You should see her now. She's been smiling ever since she came back from the doctor. You know, did the test at home and everything. But she didn't tell me until she was sure. That's really considerate of her, isn't it? Anyway, you should be getting the divorce papers today.
You know, I pay a lot of lip service to Standpipe and his whole routine, but I for one never thought this egg timer shit would work. I thought he was out of his fucking mind. You don't make two people who hate each other work together in an office the size of a broom closet. You don't make them work on the same project. And you don't put the black man in charge. But most of all, you do not give them egg timers and tell them to confine their racial opinions to 2 minutes or less. Because you know what will happen. What is bound to result from such a plan